system. Activating combat mode.
Welcome to Rubicon. In this video, I demonstrate how to S-rank every mission in the game using only the equipment you have available at the moment you first encounter that mission. You can use this as a guide to do the same challenge I'm doing, or more likely, you just want to S-rank every mission, in which case, you can use this video as a route guide, and then you can come with a late game build and just blast through the enemies a lot faster. So in Armored Core 6, your rank is determined by 4 factors. There's the time you take to complete each mission, there's the repair cost you incur during the mission, the ammunition cost you incur, and then any bonus points you gain by destroying enemies along the way. Repair costs are about 1.5 times more important than ammunition costs when you see the final screen, and about 1500 points of AP damage is equivalent to 10 seconds of mission time. So if you take 1500 AP damage, you have 10 seconds less to complete the mission. Generally, the most important criteria for S-rank is time. Time. Always time. You need to go fast. And the next most important criteria is damage taken. In all of the missions that I've had difficulty getting S-rank, generally what's pushed me over the edge is to complete the mission using the route I've been testing and just take less damage, and that can push you over the threshold. So in this first mission we have to find a license, so we're scanning various AC wrecks, and then we have to fight the tutorial boss at the end. There's no choice in loadouts, you're just put in your AC equipped as it is and have to cope with the loadout you're given. So heading down this trench here, as you turn in, the PCA's helicopter comes in. You can just hold back a little bit and let it take out all of the MTs in this area, and then just mosey up to this wreck and get ready for it to become available after this intermediate speech. Nothing too tricky required here. I tend to stay low so that as few as things have a line of sight to me as possible. Here's the next wreck. It is surrounded by enemies. This area is designed to teach you multi-lock against helicopters. I'm kind of staying low against one side of the building so that I'm only exposed from one side. There's a balance between staying close to this wreck so that the scan continues and strafing from side to side to not get hit. Little mistake here, I wanted to stop on top of this building, but I miss, so I have to use some extra boost to climb up. Then we head over to this vertical catapult, which takes us to the final wreck and the license we actually use for the rest of the game. Salt boosting to minimize time in the air, and then once we've scanned this, the PCA helicopter, which is our tutorial boss, will appear from this direction. So, key to this fight, time is the most important thing, as I continue to say. Be aggressive, sensibly aggressive. So when you're on the ground, the safest place to be is kind of behind, under the nose and slightly behind. Most of his weapons can't get you there. It's also quite nice to be above him so that you can get some melee attacks on the nose. I missed that one, but never mind. So the best damage you can do is when he's staggered, so that's ACS overload, so when his stagger bar goes fully red. And so if you've got your melee weapon ready at that point, that is the best damage. But if he's nowhere near being staggered, it's also absolutely fine to hit him with a melee attack, because that will also build up his stagger a lot. So there you see the 8 rockets firing from underneath him. When they glow red, they're about to fire. They're the most dangerous weapons he has. He also has some kind of gun turrets on kind of like inside shoulders and some missile launchers on the outside shoulders. None of those do quite as much damage as taking a rocket in the face. So yeah, just watch the rockets. The tutorial from Walter recommends that you stay in the air to avoid the rocket splash damage from the ground. Yeah, that's fine. Just lateral boost sideways is also good. So yeah, be aggressive, get your melee attacks in, and that shouldn't be too difficult in S rank. So in terms of difficulty, I would rank this mission as 1 out of 3. Fairly easy.
From that license you picked up. Raven. That's your new name here on Rubicon.
So you can see here the repair cost and ammunition cost. Interestingly for this mission, the your AC starts not fully repaired, and that counts against you. You can't get out of that. Okay, for the next mission, we go in with the same loadout because the parts shop isn't available yet. Honestly, this is a slightly irritating mission. There's a lot of mechs, helicopters around, quite densely populated level, so quite easy to get tagged as you try to speed towards the artilleries as fast as possible. My general advice is when you come across one of the emplacements, there'll be more than one artillery. If you go for the one that's furthest away first, then the artilleries that you pass, they will turn to track you, but they turn quite slowly, so it gives you... it's certainly safer than if you go for the closest artillery that you arrive at first. The other artilleries in the same emplacement will tend to be able to shoot at you faster. Again, try and stick relatively low when covering the distance between the various locations, just to minimise the view that you give for particularly the sniper MTs and the other artilleries that are wanting to shoot you out of the sky. Just go fast, concentrate on the artilleries that you need to take out, and avoid being detained or distracted by random NTs or sets of helicopters on the way. The starting generator is not great. It doesn't recover from energy consuming activities very fast at all, so it's quite easy to find yourself spending quite a lot of time on the ground just waiting for your EN to recover before you can boost up. But do your best to try and keep moving, especially laterally when confronted with MTs with rockets or the artillery pieces. Yeah, time is most important. Not getting hit is the second most important aspect of S ranking. There's me running out of EN and falling out of the sky.
All targets destroyed. That's it for this job, 621. Return to base.
But yeah, fairly easy mission again. No issues here. I give this another 1 out of 3 for difficulty. As you can see, lower repair costs and ammunition costs than even the first mission. Okay, going into the next mission, I take exactly the same loadout. These missions can be taken in either order, and I do that throughout this playthrough. If you come across a set of missions that can be taken in any order, I assume that you're just going to start with whatever equipment you have at the beginning of the complete set of missions. So, no changes to the loadout here. This one we have to clear out the grid of all enemy units. So again, helicopters, MTs, generic weaponry. Nothing particularly exciting in this mission. Most annoying enemies are these style of MTs that have a shield. Shield protects them pretty well, actually. The best approach is usually to do a melee attack, which will temporarily knock their shield out of their way, and then your weapons will cause normal damage. Obviously your melee weapon has a cooldown, so other approach is to strafe around and hit them from behind where their shield isn't protecting them. I make a bit of a hash of this, honestly, in a few examples. So in particular, 2 shielded MTs up here. This is the best approach. Do the shield and hit it, but I get distracted and lock onto the other one that I haven't broken the shield of. And then I even actually don't notice that I haven't taken this one out. Oh, sorry, the previous one out. And I head on to take out the reinforcements. I end up having to go back. So this is by no means a perfect run. It's far from perfect. But I still get the S rank, so I leave this run in the video. And I do that throughout this playthrough. If I manage to get the S rank and I feel that my playthrough is deficient in some way, I'll leave the video in, because I think it's much more informative to have an imperfect S rank, because it helps demonstrate how much leeway you have in some of these missions to make mistakes. Awesome. I give this mission also a 1 out of 3 for difficulty. So at this point in the playthrough, you should have access to Beginner Training 1. I highly recommend doing this training in order to pick up the Ludlow machine gun. And then from the parts shop, I recommend picking up a second 4-way missile launcher, but this time for your left shoulder, and the upgraded FCS and generator that are available. You may not have enough time for the upgraded booster, but you can grab that after the next set of missions. For this mission, destroy the transport helicopters. There are 2 main approaches. There's ignore the tetrapod at the end and just do the thing as fast as possible. And then there is destroy the tetrapod for the bonus seconds that it gives you to make the timing a lot less tight. If you're going as fast as possible, the timing is really tight, but if you destroy the 2 artilleries, so you'll see me destroy one up on the left, there's another one that here it is, there's another one that I ignore in this run, but if you take that one as well, the timing should be a lot easier if you're doing the rush through approach. I go for the tetrapod in this run through, but honestly, if you take those 2 artilleries out, probably ignoring the tetrapod is slightly easier, because it's with this level of weaponry, it's quite tricky to get a fast kill on the tetrapod, which you kind of really need to do the mission in time. So I'm destroying all of these MTs just because they're going to tag me if I'm fighting the tetrapod at the same time as they're still alive. Gives me a few extra seconds per MT, but kind of not really worth the time. Okay, the key to this is to be aggressive as possible. He's got a big gun that he unfolds to fire forwards, and his second dangerous attack is the blade attack. To avoid the blade attack, I tend to just boost directly above him and let it circle underneath me. To avoid the large blast from the gun on top, just quick boost sideways when it's about to fire. You get the warning sign for that attack, the audible warning signal. Anyway, that's a pretty quick kill. Destroy the last 2 transport helicopters, missiles for 1, LA for other. Job done.
You got them all. That's it for this job, 621. Return to base.
As you can see, phenomenally low repair costs, they're the most important costs. I give this mission 2 out of 3 for difficulty because of its really tight timing. So for the next mission in this pair of missions, destroy the Tester AC. Just be as aggressive as possible.
Now's the time, 621.
Going with the same loadout again, so I've got 2 4-way missile launchers on the shoulders, the Ludlow my right arm, and Plasma Blade as my melee weapon. Straight in with the melee weapon to pick up 2. Get a lot of ACS build up. And I get the stagger soon afterwards, punish the melee weapon. I hit one of these very slow homing missiles, it's kind of annoying. Most important thing is just not letting him tag you with his plasma blade. If you get stuck against a wall, easy to punish. Second stagger, it's gone. Timing's not too nice on this mission, as long as you don't get hit too much. Should be a fairly easy. I give it a 1 out of 3 on difficulty. So, after this mission you should be able to afford the upgraded booster from the parts shop, add that in, and it's on to attack the dam complex. A reasonably straightforward mission. There are 2 optional not bosses, 2 optional strong units to destroy. There's a tetrapod and then there's a Rubicon Liberation Front AC. I pick up both of these. I think the AC, which is a gold combat log, is probably the one that gives you the most time and therefore the most leeway in this mission. But the tetrapod is kind of quicker to destroy, so to make the timing easier, probably worth picking up both of those. Just don't do too much damage while doing it. So you have to destroy all of the MTs at this first part of the mission to move on, and somehow all 3 of us miss this one, so I have to turn around and just shoot 4 missiles at him. So there's definitely time saved to be had along here. Now if you head over this right dam here is not the optional tetrapod. There are 2 MTs on the wall. Good to take those out because they have rockets, and if you try and fight the MT with them firing rockets at you, you're going to take more damage. I've done too much EN consuming actions and I'm out of quote-unquote stamina right at the start, so I do get tagged by his big blade. It's not ideal. So I actually take quite a bit of damage in that fight. Catch up with my allies now and head on to the next parts of the dam we need to destroy. And this is where the Rubicon Liberation Front AC appears. Kind of drops down from above. Initially he looks a bit like any other MT. You can kind of spot him from far off by obvious sticking out missiles on his shoulder. While the other raid guns say he's barely different from an MT, honestly, he's taken quite a lot of punishment. In fact, I don't really take him out until I get some help from my allies. Once we're done with him, let's use the vertical catapult to get up to the final target. Yep, you can be right on the corner of those vertical catapults to still get the lift. Take this out again. The timing's not too tight on this if you take the optional targets out. Fairly easy S rank. I give this a 1 out of 3 for difficulty as well. So for this mission, I recommend picking up a second Ludlow for your left hand. And I also just swapped in the older generator and FCS just because they're a bit lighter, because this mission involves a lot of vertical climbing and I wanted to be as light as possible for that. Honestly, you could do this mission too with 2 Turner assault rifles. Having done this mission with the Ludlow machine guns, maybe the Turner assault rifles would actually be better, but I proved that the Ludlows work, so I didn't redo the mission. So head slightly left, assault boost as much as possible, avoid the initial enemies, head towards the back leg of the Strider. You'll get the first eye attack. If you're assault boosting, you can just flick the left stick left to do a dodge. And you might have to do that.
Alright, now you're up close and personal.
Alright, once we get to the back leg, wait for it to come down to ground. I like to be slightly inside the leg. There are defences, I think, on the leg that shoot at you. I think I get minorly tagged here. And then you want to boost up into range. Destroy the leg. It might take 2 goes to get up there. Yeah, there goes some... I get tagged by some missiles there as I drop down to the ground. Might take 2 goes. Maybe you can do it in 1. It's okay to have 2 goes. Once you take out the leg, move to the outside.
Confirmed. Strider leg
Just so you don't get
compromised.
crushed.
It's
That
going
can be
down.
embarrassing.
The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
And then watch the backside come down. So important thing to note here is the most energy efficient way of making vertical distance is an assault boost and not a direct vertical boost. So assault boost, not boost with A or the cross button. Sometimes you don't have enough of an angle to make the vertical jump you need with assault boost. So you can do a bit of assault boost and then a little bit of a vertical jump. But yeah, assault boost tends to be a more EN efficient way of gaining altitude. So once you're onto the front section of the now separated Strider, you can go for the generators. So there are 4. There's 2 symmetrical on the sides, and then there's 1 underneath, slightly further back, and then kind of 1 mid-front. So I'm going for one side one first. Just kiting a little bit with vertical boost. Be careful not to run out. It's really embarrassing to drop all the way down to the floor. And then you head slightly to the back of the Strider, and then there's this rotating piece from which you can shoot the second generator. And then head to the other side, and you should be able to see a vertical catapult that you can use to... you have to go kind of beyond the side generator, but use the vertical catapult to get up. And you'll hear that warning sign when the eye is firing at you. Just keep into the side as it's firing. And then once it's finished, pop out, kite. Pop back in again. Once the eye's finished, vertical boost up onto the top. About to fire again, so just hide behind these crates. Take out the last generator and then head towards the front.
All sub-generators destroyed. The ice
Even though it
shields
looks a bit
anchor the target in your sights. Time to finish
damaged,
this.
it still attacks. In order not to hit the armor, you have to be kind of like dead in front. So there it goes, it's attacking again. You don't want to be dead in front when it's attacking, but when it's finished, I don't do the greatest job of getting past the armor. There we go, it's a bit better. And then, as soon as you've taken it out, head to the right-hand side and head towards the big structures of the grid.
We can't lose the Strider.
Confirmed. Target destroyed. And it looks like all that energy it was sucking up has nowhere to go. Move 621. You need to get clear of the Strider.
The main difficulty with this mission is staying on top of the Strider, not getting lost, not running out of EN when you're kind of like getting from one half of the Strider to the other, because it's really embarrassing to just drop off the entire structure and takes a lot of time to get back in. But it's fairly easy not to be tagged at all, so you should be able to do this mission without taking too much damage. And then we can turn around and watch the fireworks.
A fitting end for something built to fail.
A fairly easy S rank. I again give this a 1 out of 3 for difficulty. So minimal repair costs and minimal ammo costs gives maximum leeway for time. After this is a parts shop drop. I highly recommend buying both the 8-way vertical missile launchers for both shoulders, and then if you complete intermediate support training 1, you get access to a new booster, FCS and generator, and I equip all 3 for this mission. So for this, start heading left. This is for 2 reasons. The first is it's
Take out the Gatling cannons protecting the city, and the BAWS
gives you snipes only from one side, so it's a lot easier to
fire coming from
boost past and not get hit. And the other reason is you end up on the left end of the wall, which gives you an easy natural way to take out a few artillery pieces, and it's quite important to take out a good few of these artillery pieces because they actually give you a reasonable amount of extra time each, given how long they take to take out. So I think it's about 9 seconds extra, minus whatever ammo cost, and you shouldn't get hit by them. So boosting on the wall, use missiles for 2 of them, use my melee weapon for the others. And now here is the first objective. It's a tetrapod. In order to make things a little bit safer fighting it, I take out both of these low artillery pieces, and then unfortunately he spots me, so I wait for the missiles to come ready to load, fire off all 16 at once. He starts with this machine gun attack, which is not too dangerous. I go straight in with a melee tip, and then just be super aggressive. That was a super aggressive melee attack choice. Honestly, I think this is about the fastest kill on this tetrapod I've ever had. Again, super aggressive. And now, boost to the 2 artillery guns that are the required artillery guns for this mission. I try and quick boost away from being shot by the artillery pieces that can still see me on the wall, but I do get tagged. But anyway, just go fast to make up for that slight piece of damage. If you boost straight at the wall, so long as you're not going directly at an artillery, you should be safe from being hit. And then just to get a few extra seconds, I take out 2 of the artillery pieces. Whether it's worth going all the way along the wall and then up and back again and taking out 4 more for the time, it probably is a net benefit. But anyway, not necessary. Inside the wall, ready that machine gun. Couple of bursts of these guys, couple of bursts of this, and then 3 MTs come out here. So they all come out so close together, a melee weapon will hit them all. One of them has a shield, so won't be killed by the melee weapon, but easy to follow up with machine gun. And then just head up to this door, taking out people on the way, and you get to resupply. You take a nice slow lift up, or you take the slow lift up, and then you get to resupply for the final boss fight. So yeah, again the trick of this mission is do things as quickly as possible to give you as much leeway for fighting the final boss, and then do the final boss by being as aggressive as possible while not getting tagged too much. Again, I'm always concerned with repair costs and time and ammunition costs. It takes what it takes, so don't be afraid of shooting things. You want to boost up or laterally just to get out of the way of his first charge. If you try and hit him from the front or on the base, that counts as armor, so you want to kind of like hit the rotating turret from behind or on top, and this is why vertical missiles are quite good. It's not actually a good idea to stand on the base like this for too long, because if he shoots backwards to try and crush you, that kind of counts as a hit. Sneaky melee attack in the back here, and then I think Rusty comes in with some good melee too. So we're down to half health already, and that's a signal for Rusty to disappear. You can see he throws out these kind of glowing red mines. That's something to watch for. I'm being careful to do the melee attack when I'm slightly elevated from the ground, because if the melee attack hits the base, it doesn't do as much damage. So just make sure to kind of like gently float down until I'm in melee range. Again, being up above is kind of optimal. Just floating down. Huge hit, fight's over. Again, this was pretty good actually. It was one of my better attempts at Juggernaut. So the timing's quite tight on this unless you take out a good number of artilleries. This fight can be a bit annoying and tricky. So I give this mission 2 out of 3 for difficulty.
Really are. It won't matter. I've taken that contingency into account.
Didn't take me too long. Quite fun. I enjoy it. So after this mission, there's another parts shop drop. I recommend picking up the Mingtang generator. It's got quite similar stats to the VP20S, but they're different styles of generator. The Mingtang is another internal combustion generator. I kind of prefer these. I find them a bit easier to work with. So internal combustion ones tend to have better EN recharge, which is how quickly
I'll analyze it on my
your
end.
energy starts to recover after you do a boost or something.
This log is interesting.
But they have slightly worse supply recovery. So if you exhaust your EN completely, it'll take a little longer to come back. And I actually kind of prefer not exhausting my generator supply and having it recharge a bit faster. Somewhat a matter of taste, and you can adapt your playstyle to either generator. But yeah, I'm more of an internal combustion enjoyer.
Everything else.
Okay, so for this mission, you have to find retrieve combat logs. To S rank, you probably have to get them all because that will cause the mission to end early. Optional AC fight, Little Z. Honestly, with this level of spec, this fight was more annoying than I expected. Little Z has got, I think it's a grenade launcher, and a shield, and is kind of relatively tanky for this level in the game. So yeah, I spend quite a lot of my time making sure that I have the EN to side dodge at least most of grenades. I get a little bit impatient at this point because I think this is costing me time. And because of that I get hit a few times. But the benefit is, if you do take her out, it does give a lot of bonus time for this mission and makes the S rank a lot easier. So I take out this MT up here before I scan this third wreck, because otherwise he will snipe you. Yeah, and then assault boost up to this vertical catapult, use the vertical catapult. Yeah, sometimes they just fail. They're not 100% reliable. And then, to a certain extent, it becomes a matter of choosing when to tank stuff while doing a very slow scan, so that you can kind of at least get the mission over quickly. Because if you boost away to dodge something and it breaks the scan, you have to start the scan right from the beginning again. And then I take these out as much to not get tagged as for the extra time bonus. Yeah, there are two circuits you can do. I think the obvious circuit is to do the reverse of this circuit. I find doing the reverse circuit, there's the very first log that I scan is kind of quite easy to miss if you go the other way around, because you have to kind of like, you either have to go left first and then go anti-clockwise, or if you leave it to the end, you have to kind of like boost up from that low area where we fought Little Z, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, this feels like the fastest way around to do the fight. Not many difficult enemies, but it's just about not getting tagged and going fast.
We've got company.
The time requirements, if you take out Little Z, are fairly easy on this. I think I only stopped the clock with about 12 or so seconds left. We'll check that out in a moment and still get the S rank. So yeah, I rate this mission probably a 1 out of 3 for difficulty. I think it's another first timer for me.
Looks like this is the last one.
Clock stops at 15
This
seconds.
gives us some more insight about V4 skills. We've still got time, but we've checked out every promising wreck. That's it for this job, 621. Return to base.
Okay, so coming up to the hardest mission to S rank in Chapter 1, in my opinion. So we go with a total weapon change. I recommend going with the VVC 770 laser blade on the left arm and the VP60 laser cannon on both shoulders. I do swap out the booster and FCS for an earlier model from the first parts shop drop, but honestly that's probably not so important, and possibly the VP 20S would have been a better generator given my reliance on energy weapons, but hey,
Picking up nothing.
it's not too important.
What happened here?
So this mission is about taking out
Too quiet.
ghost mechs. So they're kind of like invisible mechs,
Watch out, 621.
and they're very annoying, but it's the only type of mech we have to deal with. So we just go out with a loadout that's good at combating them. The idea is to get double shoulder cannon blast to micro stun them and then take them out with a fully charged laser blade. And if it doesn't quite work, follow up with the Ludlow to finish off. I didn't do that one ideally. Now if you head to the right here, you can take out the only optional enemy of this mission. Highly worth it, maybe it's even essential, because he adds just enough time to make the S rank feasible. 2 more ghost mechs in this area. I assault boost not directly at him to avoid being hit. Double shoulder blast and then fully charged laser blade. Unfortunately, the second swing misses, so I have to do a little bit of follow-up attack. This one I think goes a bit better. So double shoulder blast, fully charged laser blade, and that takes him out. And the idea is to take all of these out as quickly as possible so we get into the final arena, which is even more annoying than the rest of the mission. So if you head down the left here and then just do a scan here, the next mech is just hiding partly on here, sneak up on him, just avoid getting tagged by the ghost mech on the other side of the arena. Again, assault boost not directly to where he is, but just out of reach. Double laser blast, laser blade swipe. The final one, he's normally moved from his starting position by this time. This doesn't go ideally, I kind of whiff high. Somehow managed to not get hit by this, and then take him out with the laser blade again.
Confirmed. Unidentified mechs destroyed.
Now we're on to the final arena, and honestly this is one of those missions where you just have to learn the positions of things in order to do it fast. Good information about trying to descend. The fastest way to descend in this game is to not touch anything and let gravity take its course. If you do any sort of boosting, you actually float down slower. So touch nothing, float down. And then you want to just get close to this marker to trigger it away, and then head towards the back of the arena. We're going to be looking at the back left as you came in, so over in this direction. But don't start too close to that wall, because there's one ghost mech who's tracking you down, and you don't want to get him too close to you. So I scanned too early, but after Handler Walker says 61 above you, wait a little bit, and then this one appear on this left wall. The trick is to shoot them with laser cannon so they drop down, and then take them with the laser blade once they hit the floor. They do sometimes get stuck on the ledge slightly up from the floor, so just kind of like float down and see where they get stuck. The next one is on the far end wall. I get tagged here, which is kind of annoying. Big laser blade. You can actually see that the ghost mech with the shield has crept up behind me. Although I don't think I actually hit him with the laser blade blast. The laser blade blast has a really good area effect, which kind of keeps you safe. Now this one is on the last panel from the end, on the same side that the very first one you take out. He actually starts on the other side of the arena, but by the time you've taken out the end wall one, he usually moves to this side. And then the final bot has got this really annoying whip. The idea is to just stay close, bounce above him so the whip never hits. As soon as his shield breaks, he'll be staggered. As soon as his shield breaks, just make sure you're close enough to get a fully charged laser blade in, and you should be able to deal with him quite quickly. This really hard mission took me lots of goes. The timing is really tight. 3 out of 3 for difficulty, for sure. And the thing about this mission, as with many of the missions, is when it's really, really hard and the timing is tight, keeping those repair costs down is key. So I think I was hitless or very close to hitless until getting into the final arena, and then I lost about 2000 AP of damage and did a very good final fight of that ghost one and actually got the S rank. But yeah, if you get tagged a couple of extra times, that can kind of lose you 10 seconds of time, and that can push you down to an A rank. So yeah, anyway, that was fun. So after this mission is done, the arena will unlock, and so if you take your path through the arena, you are rewarded with OST chips that you can use to upgrade your AC. I recommend taking 2 things at this point. I recommend spending 2 points on weapon bay and 4 points on direct damage tuning. Direct damage tuning is your damage to staggered enemies, and Weapon Bay allows you to put a arm weapon on your shoulder, and then if you fire your shoulder weapon, instead of firing it, it swaps between the arm weapon you've stored on your shoulder and your existing arm weapon. Okay, so this mission starts, and you have to take out these laser turrets and MTs in the first area. The idea is to do it as quickly as possible. So in my loadout, I'm taking dual Ludlows, which is a lovely, fast paired weapon. And I go for the laser turrets first because they are the most dangerous, and then I head back, doing a circuit and taking out all of these MTs. They only take a little burst with the dual Ludlows. Lovely and fast. Just hit my scan button here so that I can lock on as soon as I come up into space. Unfortunately, I just get tagged by this one, so I just fire off my vertical missile launchers and ignore him. So yeah, dual Ludlows. On my shoulder is my pulse blade that I can swap to melee, and on my right shoulder is the 8-way vertical missile launcher. Honestly, I was expecting to have to just learn and redo this mission a couple of times, but I first tried it, so I'm leaving this first try in, even though I make a few fairly crucial mistakes. First mistake here is I don't manage to dodge this laser blast, and look, it does over 2000 AP of damage. And my second mistake is I think I've taken it out with some, and then I kite way too high and I get tagged again. So I've taken like nearly 5,000 points of damage that I shouldn't have taken, but I've been going really fast, taking everything out pretty fast, not to use too much ammo, so we're going okay. So honestly, I think the more difficult part of this mission is this AC, Sulla. He comes with the pulse gun, which is just very hard to dodge. Basically, it's like a machine gun with a wider hit scan box, which is just awful. If you stagger him, he does not stay staggered for long, so you have to be close to get the melee hit in. I was kind of fortunate there. And yeah, as well as the pulse gun, he's got the plasma missiles and some sort of rocket, and he's also, I think he's got the Javelin Beta, which is like a quite a cool missile that I like. I get tagged a lot here. The upside is this fight was over pretty fast. I was almost tempted to kind of go, okay, I know this how this mission goes, I'm going to start again. For some reason, I decided to just play this mission through to the end. Was not expecting to get the S rank, but we'll see that I do. So I kept this this run in the video. So after you defeated Sulla, get to the door as soon as possible. Restock. Again, use the knowledge that just relying on gravity is the fastest way to descend. And then you have to take out the target down here, so don't touch anything, just drop. And this is a two-stage target, so you shoot it once, it gets exposed, shoot it again, destroy the insides. Okay, now we're on to the main boss of Chapter 1, Balteus. It is true, Balteus has been nerfed. He's still not easy, but he's a lot easier. So he starts off with a pulse shield. Your pulse blade is good against pulse shields. Like, the best use of your pulse blade is against the staggered Balteus. The second best use is taking out his pulse shield. So use the vertical missiles to get close. As soon as he's staggered, I take the fact that I'm going to tank a few missiles to the full pulse blade attack. And then I'm just super aggressive because I know I'm probably not getting the S rank without absolutely minimizing my time. He will reapply his shield fairly regularly, so if he's close to stagger, I want to take that stagger, even if it means my melee weapon isn't ready to punish. And there he is reapplying his pulse shield. Because his pulse shield's still quite high, I'm happy to use the melee blade to drop the shield, and then by the time I do stagger him, melee blade's ready again to punish. Right, he gets down to half health, so he does like a pulse armor blast. You don't want to be in range for that. So as soon as he starts pulsing, you want to be moving directly away, otherwise you will be in range. And then after he's done that, he will start with some flamethrower attacks. That was a mistake. let's move swiftly on. The best way to avoid his flamethrower attacks is either being directly above him so you can boost behind him, or directly below him again so you can boost behind him. Obviously being above requires you to have some EN. This fight is going pretty well for me. I think he doesn't manage to reapply his shield in phase 2 at all. So he boosts away. I've fired vertical missiles, I've just typed the right to avoid missile blast. Get the final stagger with a combination of missiles until that goes, and the final punish ends him. Yeah, was not expecting to get the S rank with the damage I took against Sula. But again, speed is the most important thing, so by being as aggressive as possible, made up all the time I needed to. And there you have it. Chapter 1, S ranked, using the equipment available to you at the time you counter each mission. Stay tuned and subscribe to Chapter 2. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.